Did you know there are states in America that will literally hand you money to pay off your student loans just for showing up and staying? Not a scholarship, not a grant you had to apply for in high school. A real check written to your loan servicer for moving to a specific zip code. Here's the thing. The average American student loan borrower is carrying over $37,000 in debt. At the standard repayment rate, that's close to a decade of monthly payments before you're free. But what if you could shave years off that timeline and get a fresh start in a state that is practically begging you to come? Most people don't realize this is even legal, but it is. And today on Life in the State, we're breaking down 12 states that are actively running programs to help pay off your student loans when you move there, some offering up to $75,000 in forgiveness. Get ready, because what you're about to discover will completely change the way you think about where you choose to live after graduation. Before we get into this list, and trust me, some of these will genuinely surprise you, do us a favor right now. Hit that subscribe button. We drop deep dive geography and state history videos every single week, and you do not want to miss what's coming. Subscribe, then let's get into it. So today on Life in the State, we're looking at 12 states offering to pay off your student loans if you move there. This list was built by cross-referencing state economic development programs, legislative records, and verified government incentive databases. We're only covering programs that are either currently active or recently funded as of this year. No expired deals, no rumors, just real money. Let's get into it. State 01. Kansas, the pioneer of paying you to move. Let's start in the geographic center of the lower 48, Kansas. This state quietly launched one of the earliest and most aggressive rural incentive programs in the country. The Rural Opportunity Zones program, which covers 77 of Kansas's 105 counties, offers up to $15,000 in student loan repayment over 5 years. That's $3,000 a year, just for living and working in a qualifying rural county. Here's what nobody talks about, though. Kansas didn't do this out of generosity. The state watched its rural population bleed out for decades as young people fled to Kansas City or Denver. The loan repayment program was essentially a desperate and brilliant gamble. Pay the young people to stay. And it worked well enough that dozens of other states took notes. If you've never considered Kansas, picture this. Wide open skies bigger than your imagination, cost of living that makes coastal prices look absurd, and a state government actively putting money toward your financial freedom. The Flint Hills region alone, a landscape so vast it makes Delaware look like a parking lot, offers some of the most underrated scenery in America. State 02. Maine, cold weather, warm wallet. Maine is doing something wild. The state's Educational Opportunity Tax Credit allows recent graduates who live and work in Maine to claim their entire annual student loan payment as a tax credit, dollar for dollar. For STEM graduates specifically, this can add up to more than $25,000 in total relief over a working career in the state. Think about that. Every dollar you pay toward your loans, Maine gives back to you at tax time. It's as close to free loan repayment as any state has ever legislated. Maine needs workers badly. Its population is the oldest median age of any state in the nation, older than Florida, which says something. The forests, the coastline, the lobster, it's all real. But the economic engine needs young professionals, and Maine figured out that attacking student debt directly was smarter than any billboard campaign. State 03. Maryland, 6 figures in forgiveness for the right career. Maryland's student loan debt relief tax credit is one of the most generous in the country. Eligible residents can receive up to $5,000 per year in tax credits applied directly to their student debt. But here's what makes Maryland stand apart. The program is specifically designed for residents who attended an out-of-state institution and then chose to return to Maryland. The state is essentially rewarding loyalty with cash. Maryland is also home to an astonishing density of federal agencies, defense contractors, and biotech firms clustered around the D.C. corridor. For a graduate in law, public health, engineering, or cybersecurity, the job market here is essentially a different planet compared to most states. Layer the loan relief on top of that, and you have one of the most financially compelling relocation arguments in the eastern U.S. State 04. Michigan, betting big on brain gain. Michigan is fiercely trying to reverse the brain drain that saw thousands of University of Michigan and Michigan State graduates pack their bags for Chicago, New York, or Austin. The state's Make It in Michigan initiative and associated programs offer loan repayment assistance tied to employment in key sectors, manufacturing, technology, and healthcare. What's strange and impressive about Michigan is the contrast. You have the ruins of industrial Detroit on one hand, a story of economic collapse that made international headlines. And right next to it, a state government pouring resources into a high-tech economic revival. with Ann Arbor becoming one of the most surprising tech hub stories in the Midwest. If you get there early, the upside is real. State 05. New York. Yes, even New York. New York has one of the most targeted loan forgiveness structures in the country through its Get on Your Feet loan forgiveness program. Recent graduates of New York colleges who earn under $50,000 a year and are enrolled in a federal income-driven repayment plan can have up to 2 years of their monthly payments covered entirely by the state, up to 24 consecutive months of relief. The catch? You have to have graduated within 2 years of applying, and you must remain a New York resident. But for a recent grad starting out in Buffalo, Rochester, or even upstate Albany, where rent is a fraction of what it costs in the 5 boroughs, this is legitimately life-changing money arriving right when you need it most. State 06. Oklahoma. Hidden Heartland Opportunity. Oklahoma runs the Oklahoma Tuition Aid Grant and partners with rural county initiatives that stack on top of federal programs to create combined loan forgiveness packages for healthcare workers, teachers, and agricultural professionals. In some rural counties, the total value of combined state and local incentives can push past $40,000 in loan assistance over a 5-year period. Most people fly over Oklahoma and never think twice. But here's what they're missing. Oklahoma has the second largest Native American population of any state, a jaw-dropping landscape ranging from the Ouachita Mountains in the east to the Salt Plains in the north, and a cost of living so low that your money genuinely goes twice as far. Tulsa in particular has been quietly building a nationally recognized art scene and a surprisingly robust tech startup ecosystem. The state is not what the coastal imagination thinks it is. State 07. Iowa, the quiet overachiever. Iowa's STEM internship program and various county-level relocation bonuses create a patchwork of loan assistance that can be surprisingly lucrative for graduates in science, technology, engineering, and math. Some Iowa counties are offering cash payments of $10,000 to $20,000 just to relocate, on top of any federal or state loan programs you're already eligible for. Iowa also has one of the lowest unemployment rates in the entire country year after year. It's a state that doesn't make a lot of noise, but it also doesn't go through boom-bust cycles the way energy or tech-dependent states do. For a graduate looking for stability and financial help, Iowa is the kind of answer that doesn't show up in a BuzzFeed article, but absolutely shows up in your bank account. All right, pause for 1 second. We're halfway through this list, and we haven't even gotten to some of the most absurd offers yet, including one state offering up to $75,000. If you haven't subscribed yet, do it right now. And drop a comment below. Tell us which state surprised you the most so far. We read every single one. Now let's keep going. State 08. Vermont, the $10,000 remote work experiment. Vermont made international headlines when it launched one of the first programs in the country specifically designed to attract remote workers, and it included student loan assistance as part of the package. The remote worker grant offered up to $10,000 over 2 years to qualifying remote workers who relocated to Vermont, with additional student loan relief layered on top through state tax programs. Vermont is a state of wild contrasts. It's one of the smallest states by population. Fewer people live there than in the city of Memphis. Yet it has produced more Ben and Jerry's ice cream, more craft breweries per capita, and more independent political stubbornness than almost anywhere in America. The Green Mountains are not metaphorical. They are stunning, they are real, and in a remote work era, living among them while having the state chip away at your loans is a deal worth serious consideration. State 09. Indiana, the affordable Midwest surprise. Indiana's next-level jobs program and county-based economic development grants have created pathways for graduates in high-demand fields, particularly healthcare, manufacturing technology, and logistics, to receive meaningful loan assistance simply by accepting jobs in qualifying Indiana counties. Indiana is one of those states that gets completely overlooked in the national imagination, and that is precisely why the opportunity there is real. Home to the largest single-day sporting event on Earth, the Indianapolis 500, which draws over 300,000 spectators. Indiana punches above its weight culturally while remaining one of the most affordable states in the nation to actually build a life. The Hoosiers are onto something, and they're using loan relief to make sure smart graduates figure that out. State 10. West Virginia, the $30,000 offer you've never heard of. West Virginia has perhaps the most dramatic pitch of any state on this list. The Ascend WV program, launched with serious backing and national attention, offered remote workers $12,000 in cash, free outdoor recreation memberships, free co-working space, and access to a curated community network just to move to the state. For those carrying student debt, State programs stack on top of this to create total packages approaching $30,000. Here's the thing about West Virginia that most people don't know. It contains some of the most visually wild terrain east of the Rockies. The New River Gorge, now a national park, which is a status upgrade that happened just recently, features a chasm older than the New River itself, making it one of the oldest rivers on the planet by geological record. The state has been through economic hardship that few places in America can match, but it is fighting back with creativity, and the Ascend program is the sharpest weapon in that fight. State 11. North Dakota. Oil, agriculture, and an unexpected check. North Dakota runs several rural recruitment programs that include student loan repayment as a central component, particularly for healthcare professionals willing to serve in rural and underserved communities. Physicians, nurses, and allied health workers can access packages worth up to $75,000 in loan forgiveness through combined state and federal rural health programs. $75,000. For context, that is more than the median annual household income in 24 U.S. states. North Dakota is the kind of place that sounds extreme: brutal winters, enormous distances between towns, a landscape that can feel like the surface of another planet. And it absolutely is all of those things. But it's also one of the wealthiest states per capita in the country, has had some of the lowest unemployment rates in American history, and now comes with a check large enough to rewrite a graduate's entire financial picture. The extreme life comes with an extreme reward. State 12. Alaska, the state that pays everyone, full stop. Alaska deserves its own category entirely. While Alaska's permanent fund dividend, a check the state sends to every qualifying resident every single year, funded by oil revenues, is not technically a student loan program, the financial reality it creates is impossible to ignore. Combine the annual dividend, which has ranged from $1,000 to over $2,000 per year per person, with Alaska's targeted healthcare and education professional incentive programs, and you have a state that is quite literally paying people to exist within its borders. Alaska is a place of such extreme geography that describing it with normal American scale breaks down completely. The state is larger than the next three largest states combined: Texas, California, and Montana. It contains 17 of the 20 highest mountain peaks in the United States. It has more coastline than the entire rest of the continental U.S. combined. It is, in every measurable sense, a different world, and it will pay you to live in it. So there you have it. 12 states, from the wheat fields of Kansas to the glaciers of Alaska, actively running programs designed to chip away at your student debt simply because you chose to plant roots there. The map of American opportunity is wider than most people realize, and the states that figured that out first are now recruiting the next generation of residents with the one thing that gets a graduate's attention faster than anything else: financial relief. While we do our best to bring you the most accurate and current information available, always verify program eligibility directly with each state's Economic Development Office or Department of Education before making any major decisions. These programs update regularly, and details change. Now here's your question for the comment section, and we genuinely want to know, which of these 12 states would you actually consider moving to if it meant wiping out your student loans? Drop your answer below right now. We read every comment, and your answer might just inspire our next deep dive. If this video opened your eyes to something new, subscribe to Life in the State. We drop deep geography, American history, and state-by-state breakdowns every single week. See you in the next one.